working near Vermilion and around Lakeland College to answer some pretty interesting questions about beneficial insects and canola yields.
What is a beneficial insect? So a beneficial insect is some kind of insect that is helpful to a farmer. So we could have bees, those are beneficial insects. They help to pollinate flowers. We could have predatory ground beetles, those help to eat different kinds of caterpillars that are living in the crops. We could have wasps and anything else that helps to control pest insects. So those are what beneficial insects are. But oftentimes they don't live specifically in the crop. They need somewhere to stay during the winter time. So they will lay their eggs or build their burrows in areas such as grasslands and forests and wetlands. And then during the growing season, they'll come out of the ground and then they'll spread into the canola crop. Now, what we're interested in is how far do they spread into the crop and how does this translate into canola yield?
Hi everyone, I'm Brandon Eisenreich, a crop research technician at Lakeland College. Today we're at one of our canola field sites for a canola project that's in collaboration with the U of C and Dr. Paul Galpern's team. We're just at one of our sites with a wetland behind us. We have two other sites with wetlands as well in canola fields. And what we also have is these tents set up. Now these tents are also called exclosures, and they act as a way of keeping insects out, which will prevent any pollinators from getting inside. So we know that wetlands harbor lots of beneficial insects, and we're trying to see how much benefit these insects offer on canola yield. So we have these exclosures set up at 4 different distances, 2 meters, 25 meters, 50 meters, and 75 meters away from the wetland. And at each location, we also have these insect traps. So we're trying to measure how many insects are at these different distances and see what effect they have on yield at each distance. So this trap right here is a blue vein trap, and then down here we have a pitfall trap. So any beetles or ground insects that are crawling will fall in here, and we can measure how many insects of those type we have as well. We have a pitfall trap that we'll set up inside the exclosure to see if any insects may crawl their way underneath the tent. But we do the best we can to make sure the exclosures keep all insects out of the crop.
Not only can we use nature to boost yields, but we might also be able to boost nature at the same time. You know, if there's parts of those fields that just aren't profitable for the farmer, there's inputs that go in there, there's fertilizer, there's seed costs, and what happens if there's just not a high yield on a little part of that field? Maybe the time has come that the grower might decide to take it out of production, and that becomes another reservoir, a reservoir that might be home to these insects that could then spill over into the surrounding crop. And that's what I think could be a win-win.
The other thing we're also interested in is linking this to precision yield data, because while we have a couple fields up there that we're working with, that doesn't apply to everywhere in the field, and that doesn't apply to across larger sets of fields. So what we're doing is we're looking at precision yield data that comes out of combine yield monitors, and we're looking to see if we can see the same pattern at the field scale. So can you see a signal of these beneficial insects kind of percolating into the field from areas near the field that are helpful? And does this affect more than just a couple fields? Is this like a widespread pattern? And if so, how can we design our fields better to benefit both the bottom line and also to benefit the natural environment as well?
And if anybody listening out there has a precision yield or precision ag data set they'd like to share with us to help us on our way, we'd love to hear from you.